Greetings, blessed ones. Welcome to Shelter in the Storm with A Course in Miracles lessons number 28. Okay, today we're up to part 6 of chapter 2, Fear and Conflict, this is called. Being afraid seems to be involuntary, something beyond your own control. Yet, I have said already that only constructive acts should be involuntary. My control can take over everything that does not matter, while my guidance can direct everything that does, if you so choose. Fear cannot be controlled by me, but it can be self-controlled. Fear prevents me from giving you my control. The presence of fear shows that you have raised body thoughts to the level of the mind. This removes them from my control and makes you feel personally responsible for them. This is an obvious confusion of levels. I do not foster level confusion, but you must choose to correct it. You would not excuse insane behavior on your part by saying, "I could not help it." Why should you condone insane thinking? There is a confusion here that you would do well to look at clearly. You may believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is that you are responsible for what you think, because it is only at this level that you can exercise choice. What you do comes from what you think. You cannot separate yourself from the truth by giving autonomy to behavior. This is controlled by me automatically, as soon as you place what you think under my guidance. Whenever you are afraid, it is a sure sign that you have allowed your mind to miscreate and have not allowed me to guide it. It is pointless to believe that controlling the outcome of misthought can result in healing. When you are fearful, you have chosen wrongly. That is why you feel responsible for it. You must change your mind, not your behavior, and this is a matter of willingness. You do not need guidance except at the mind level. Correction belongs only at the level where change is possible. Change does not mean anything at the symptom level, where it cannot work. The correction of fear is your responsibility. When you ask for release from fear, you are implying that it is not. You should ask, instead, for help in the conditions that have brought the fear about. These conditions always entail a willingness to separate. At that level, you can help it. You are much too tolerant of mind wandering and are passively condoning your mind's miscreations. The particular result does not matter, but the fundamental error does. The correction is always the same. Before you choose to do anything, ask me if your choice is in accord with mine. If you are sure that it is, there will be no fear. Fear is always a sign of strain, arising whenever what you want conflicts with what you do. This situation arises in two ways. First, you can choose to do conflicting things, either simultaneously or successively. This produces conflicted behavior, which is intolerable to you, because the part of your mind that wants to do something else is outraged. Second, You can behave as you think you should, but without entirely wanting to do so. Okay, we'll leave that part there and we'll continue with part 5 tomorrow. Let's move on to our lesson number 28. Ooh. We're flying through these, guys. You're doing great. You're doing great. Okay, lesson 28. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Today, we are really giving specific application to the idea for yesterday. In these practice periods, you will be making a series of definite commitments. The question of whether you will keep them in the future is not our concern here. If you are willing at least to make them now, you have started on the way to keeping them. And we are still at the beginning. You may wonder why it is important to say, for example, above all else, I want to see this table differently. In itself, it is not important at all. Yet, what is by itself? And what does in itself mean? You see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you are not seeing at all. You either see or not. When you have seen one thing differently, you will see all things differently. The light you will see in any one of them is the same light you will see in them all. When you say, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you are making a commitment to withdraw your preconceived ideas about the table and open your mind to what it is and what it is for. You are not defining it in past terms. You are asking what it is rather than telling it what it is. You are not binding its meaning to your tiny experience of tables, nor are you limiting its purpose to your little personal thoughts. You will not question what you have already defined, and the purpose of these exercises is to ask questions and receive the answers. In saying, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you are committing yourself to seeing. It is not an exclusive commitment. It is a commitment that applies to the table just as much as to anything else, neither more nor less. You could, in fact, gain vision from just that table if you would withdraw all your own ideas from it and look upon it with a completely open mind. It has something to show you, something beautiful and clean and of infinite value, full of happiness and hope. Hidden under all your ideas about it is its real purpose, the purpose it shares with all the universe. In using the table as a subject for applying the idea for today, you are therefore really asking to see the purpose of the universe. You will be making this same request of each subject that you use in the practice periods. And you are making a commitment to each of them to let its purpose be revealed to you, instead of placing your own judgment upon it. We will have 6 2-minute practice periods today, in which the idea for the day is stated first, and then applied to whatever you see about you. Not only should the subjects be chosen randomly, but each one should be accorded equal sincerity, as today's idea is applied to it, in an attempt to acknowledge the equal value of them all in their contribution to your seeing As usual, the applications should include the name of the subject your eyes happen to light on, and you should rest your eyes on it while saying, "Above all else, I want to see this case differently." Each application should be made quite slowly and as thoughtfully as possible. There is no hurry. Above all else, I want to see this case differently. Let's move to Lesson 28 for Jesus Commentary. Above all else, I want to see things differently. You are blessed beings, indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. This is a very powerful lesson. You agree to transform the way you look at everything when you practice this lesson with us today. Again, you may have some fear arising. We want you to refer to the channeled portion of yesterday's lesson to reassure you that you lose nothing except the limiting, fearful, resentful hatred that lurks beneath the surface of your seemingly innocent minds. We are not accusing you of being bad people. We are informing you that you are only aware of a certain part of your consciousness that you have been permitted to explore in your society. For example, when you are punished for getting angry with a parent when you were a little child, which most of you were, you began to lose access to that part of your consciousness. You pushed it down because it was unacceptable. You would lose love if you allowed that part of you to surface. That little raging 2-year-old who said, "I don't want to eat my peas," can be punished cruelly in your society. Many of you were. Many of you don't remember it. Some of you do. When you fracture yourself in that way through trauma, you're traumatized by a great big parent who punishes you, withdraws love, makes you sit in your little chair for a long time until you eat those peas, or perhaps even physically smacks you. You push parts of your consciousness down and away from you. You don't have access to those feelings and emotions. What happens as you do these lessons is we tap into some of those fears. We tap into some of those repressed and controlled parts of your consciousness because we love you. We love you in an unconditional way. We love you in a pure, spiritual way without requiring anything of you. Sometimes, with your free will, your decision-making process, even when you were a small child, you decided that part of you was not okay. All of you are okay. All of you are acceptable. All of you are loved. This is a process of healing, the reintegration of the mind, the taking back of that unconscious part of yourself. These lessons do not go through your traumas with you. This is not necessary. The practices, as described in these lessons, are designed to clarify the mind of fear. One of the dysfunctional aspects of your society is to go back into traumas over and over again, bringing that feeling into the present moment over and over again in an effort to heal it. It is not in doing that you heal your mind. It is in relentlessly turning toward love that you heal your mind. The thought forms, fears and nightmares dissipate when you no longer feed them because you stop looking there. You look to love. You look to truth. And that is what will eventually fill your mind. That is what we do here. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. Namaste, dearest ones.